Yes.
Hey,
Yes, there you are.
got them
High
both.
five. So glad
Whenever I see Katie, Darren was gonna do the same thing.
Yes,
See,
take a picture. Hold on, I'm taking a
we
picture.
gotta join.
There we go. There we go. Oh, I don't have it.
Well, we got to hook you up. Well,
I
not we.
know.
Katie's
What?
got
Well, Katie's got to hook me up because I've got the old school version. This isn't the right
No.
color, so I gotta.
Uh-huh. Got it.
I've been patiently waiting at the mailbox every day, just longingly looking to see if my glasses are there, but no.
Okay, I know those were an early iteration.
I know.
And so
That's how long I've known you.
I need to put them in the mail. I'm putting it on my to-do list right now. And Charlie, I'm going to get you some too. That's happening.
I need that. I do. You got to tell everybody you guys, literally, there's a reason for the glasses. So can you tell everybody the
They're
background?
on the cover of her book. I mean,
know.
they're
You got to
special.
tell.
It's true.
Everyone's
Well, I
probably
mean,
like,
it was Darrin.
I know.
Darrin was the one. So I had my, that crazy headshot that I'm in that I'm like laughing and I've got these glasses on. And so it was, I mean, gosh, what was it? 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago in Vegas.
something like that. Yeah, we were in Vegas. Yeah.
Yeah, Darrin was like, you could be that teal glasses lady. Like, you could do that. And you could have business cards in the shape of them. You could throw out fake ones. And I was like, okay. And so I started to do the things and throw out the fake ones. And here are these people there are no lenses in the glasses. And they become like this symbol of fun and hope and doing what's right for kids. And I will have people come to my sessions be like, where the glasses at? Like, they want their glasses. And so I will get them. People use them as a prop. They tag me. It's really fun. And so I have a pair of glasses for every outfit that I own, and I can't even wear them anymore. Like, I'll even show up to like dinner with my girlfriends in my red glasses, and they're like, who are you? You're supposed to be that teal glasses lady. So yeah, it's really fun. I will get you both a pair so we can all rock them on the screen at the same time.
Yeah, well, we'll all be at NCMLE, I believe, together in March. So woohoo! Shout out, David James. I know you're listening. We're coming for you because we do this every year. So if you guys don't know about that, you got to check out that conference. It's awesome. It's awesome. So yes. All right. So we have all been connected, but we're really excited to close this whole summit off by asking you guys what we do about behavior. What the heck do we do? We're all struggling. We all have some great ideas, but we need to hear it from you. So first of all, Josh, you want to give a little background on Darrin and Katie and why they're showing up here together? Because it's important.
Well, they co-authored a fantastic book, which we're going to talk about today, but individually, I'm just going to talk through real quick. Darrin is a keynote speaker, former superintendent, leadership trainer and coach, and the creator of Road to Awesome. Katie kind of already gave her little background here, right? But she is one that brings a message of hope and fun to educators all over this great nation. So we're super happy to have her. And she's an author of Untold Teaching Truths and so many other books. And I think you've got, Katie, now 3 books. Is that correct? I got it right. All right. And so she does a ton of keynotes and work with educators all over this country too, as a speaker, author, professional development director. She's just amazing out in Oklahoma. And we are just so happy to have you two close us down for this 2-day event.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got to ask you guys, this is an important question. It's so simple, but why culture first? Darrin, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I'm happy to take that one. So, interesting story. So, and shout out to my one piece that Josh left out about me. I'm also an adjunct professor at Fort Hays State University in Hays, Kansas. Go Tigers! And in fact, a whole bunch of my TL 860 students, which is my advanced classroom management course, are tuning into the summit. So thanks for having the summit for this this semester. This worked out perfect. They're right in the middle of mine and Katie's book. So wow, this is perfect to do this. But Katie was on my podcast not long after our Vegas conversation, and we were talking about I think it even came up during the podcast, and one of us said, "Hey, we should do a book together," but we had no idea what we were going to do. But the more that I have taught this advanced classroom management course, I've really shifted that course away from classroom management to classroom culture. To me, I really genuinely believe if we focus first and foremost on the culture in our classroom, and there's so many elements to the culture in our classroom, and I'm sure we'll get to that, but if we focus on that, so many of the other things just get taken care of. I mean, now, and we've had all kinds of different examples over the 2 days of this summit. Man, the summit has been amazing, of those situations that might be a little bit outside the norm, but just the day to day, the routine, as a school administrator, as a high school principal, as a superintendent, so often we hear, well, this teacher's struggling with classroom management, or this teacher needs support with classroom management. But the reality is they probably need help with really building the culture in the classroom. And the more Katie and I talked, the more like we were just totally on the same wavelength. And then Katie had this idea of, hey, what if we reach out to people who we've been in their classroom, we've worked with them. We didn't want to just throw something out on the internet and say, hey, come to us if you want to write in our book. We wanted people we knew, we'd seen their classrooms, and we landed with, I can never remember the number, Katie. Is it 24, 25, something like that? So you
I think
take
it's
the story
26.
from here, Katie. Yeah,
26.
26. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Take it and run from there. But that's kind of where culture first started.
Yeah, I mean, that's really what it is that we're creating these experiences for kids. We're creating a family classroom. We are, I like to say this to my kids, like, I'm going to love you into submission. Like, I love you too much for this. And that we are in this together, and I need the teacher down the hall. I need Darrin. I need Charlie to help. And then when the kids know that we've got this culture that is electric and that we love them, it's really, and I've said it before, and I guess I'm just going to say it again. It's like lightning in a bottle. Like you can walk into a school and you can tell when they have this culture that is just on fire for kids. And so Culture First Classrooms was born, and I did not come up with the name. Darrin did. It was too good. Too good.
Well, I mean, again, it was just this continual back and forth, and bouncing ideas back and forth, and I mean, you guys, Josh, you and Charlie just co-authored a book too, so I mean, you get that. So much of that is just the conversations back and forth, and then something gets said, and you're like, oh, that's it right there. And so yeah, we just really want people to focus on putting culture first in their classrooms. And this isn't just a book for teachers. This is a book that we designed for building level administrators, district administrators. We have contributors from all of the different levels, special education teachers. I mean, everything K through 12. This isn't like hey, build culture in your high school classroom or your middle school classroom. This is across the board. That's, it's honestly, it's just what we believe. And it just came pouring out into the book.
Yeah. Beautiful resource. I threw the link in the chat for folks to grab their copy. So let's break it down even further. So let's talk about the difference between classroom management and classroom culture. So how would you define those two different pieces there for our educators?
Go ahead, Katie.
Okay. We've gotten good at, like, I'm sure you guys have too. Like, who's going first?
Yeah, we just point at each other every time.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the root of it, if you can't manage them, then the kids aren't learning, right? And we know this. Like, if you can't manage them, they're not learning. And so, but I think to take it a step further, we have to do things that allow our kids to feel belonging, to feel like they matter. And then, of course, your best classroom management tool is an engaged classroom, which I think Danny said that. And so bringing those types of experiences in, like a simple thing that we need to be doing is greeting our kids at the door. Like your engagement goes up by 30% if you greet your kids at the door. And still, I'm in schools, Darrin's in schools all over the country, and still I will see teachers not doing that. And that is a culture piece. That is, we greet our kids at the door because that brings our culture up. We have high expectations. We love them. And yeah, greeting kids at the door, Danny Steele Thoughts, never gets old. And so just like little things that you can do in your classroom. Are we greeting kids when they get out of the car line, off of the bus? Like, what are we doing to promote this culture? And that's all of us. I always think maybe it's, if the kids don't know who the principal is because they never see him, I mean, that's a red flag, right? Like, we need visible leaders. We need leaders and adults, and that's every adult in education and in the building. I would lean on the lunch lady. We had this amazing lunch lady who was she fed our kids, and she's so important. She had great relationships. And I would go in and be like, hey, I'm having a little bit of an issue with this kid. I need you to come in. And she would bust in my room and be like, hey, you ain't getting that extra brownie, on Friday. I mean, just like all of us together raising these kids. I don't know if I answered the question, but it's your turn, Darrin.
Okay. No, I think you did a great job with it, but I'll maybe go in a little bit different direction with it. Okay. I think when you talk about the difference between classroom management and classroom culture, you're talking about the difference between management. To me, is compliance. Management to me is what are the consequences for this behavior? What are the rules versus what are the systems and practices and procedures and those types of things that we're putting in place for our classroom so that students feel seen and heard and valued and trusted, so that they know this is a safe space for them, so that they know that here are the things that we expect of you. These are the things that aren't okay, but this is how we'll take care of it. And there's a great story in the book. Jackie Mullen, who is an absolute rock star middle school teacher, 7th grade math teacher in Illinois. Jackie tells the story, toothpaste. Simply put, squeeze a tube of toothpaste out on the very first day of school. Math teacher. Anybody think they can come and put the toothpaste back in? Of course, 7th grade boys. Yeah, I can do that. Of course they can't. She uses that as a lesson for when the words come out of our mouth, they can't go back in. But more importantly, it becomes the battle cry, if you will, of her classroom. When kids say things inappropriate, if Jackie hears it, all she says is toothpaste. That's it. It's not out in the hall or go to the principal but her kids do it too. If another kid says something they shouldn't, the kids just say toothpaste, and that's it. I mean, to me, that's building a culture. That's a culture of shared accountability, the right kind of accountability. And I mean, that's just one simple example. But when we live in a space that's all about compliance, then the only club in the bag is punishment. And punishment to gain compliance doesn't work. You guys have heard me say that. I've said that. I'll say it far and wide as long as I live. Punishment to gain compliance doesn't work. That's management. Culture, toothpaste is culture. Culture is, here's the procedure that we use. When my daughter was in 6th grade or getting ready to go into 6th grade, I went over, her principal said, hey, come over and, check out our different 6th grade teachers and tell me who you want Liz to have for a teacher. And I went into all these different classrooms, and here comes this teacher down the hallway, and her kids weren't walking quite the right way in the hallway. And she said, nope, turn around, go back. We're doing it again. And this was like in March. That's exactly who my kid needed, because my daughter is the kid who's like, oh no, we all follow the rules. And so when I saw that, I'm like, that's the culture that I want my daughter to have for a 6th grade teacher. So just like Katie, I don't know if I'm answering your question, but to me, that's the difference between management and culture.
Yeah, no, that completely gives us a good solid background, because the next thing I will ask then is, what are your tips? Like, how do you get teachers to actually build that classroom culture to help students feel safe and engaged and empowered while they manage the whole system of the classroom?
You want me to go first this time, Katie?
I'll go.
You got it? Go ahead, Katie. Oh.
Okay. We should. So, Josh, we need to do a better job of indicating, because
you guys got to moderate us.
We gotta call them out by name to make sure that they behave themselves. So, yes.
Right.
That's
Katie,
right.
go for it.
Yes. No. Okay. So I think one of the things that you can do, we're kind of on the front lines of our kids, teaching them how to speak. And I'm big about Socratic seminars and teaching them how to speak in a respectful manner back and forth, how to have discourse without throwing a desk. And so giving them lots of opportunities to do that and say things like, I respectfully disagree with you, and this is why. And like, our kids don't talk like that. And so I am a huge proponent of the Socratic seminar and teaching our kids, that's pre-K to 12 and beyond, teaching them how to have this boardroom discussion based on a text, based on leveled questions, in which you really start to like learn about the kids and learn about what they've been through. And I think that really kind of starts to create this family classroom where we're not in our friend group. We are in Miss Kinder's classroom, her family classroom, and we've got each other. And so I think Socratic seminars, if you want more information on that, please reach out to me. I would love to send you everything I've got. I never want teachers to pay teachers. Like, let me know, and I would love to help you. Okay, now I pass it to you.
Okay, I'll give two quick ones. I'll start with this. I'll kind of build off of kind of where Katie is, but more on the behavior side. So one of the 3 books that I currently use in my class, my advanced classroom management class, I absolutely love. I think it's one of the best books of all time. I'm sure you guys know the book well, but Maynard Weinstein's Hacking School Discipline. Oh my gosh, restorative circles. Holy cow! It builds right off of what Katie is saying, with just creating that atmosphere where it isn't just about a consequence, it's about repairing the harm. It's about, really having that space where you have, this shared accountability, and the space to apologize, the space to right the harm, and those kinds of things. I think that's absolutely huge. Second one I'll give you, excuse me, opposite end of the spectrum. This is something I learned with my high school students. Our kids stink at celebrating. Like, they don't know how. Middle school kids, high school kids, I mean, probably elementary school kids, this is true also. We need to teach them how to celebrate. So when you have your classroom expectations, or you have your pillars of your building, or your whatever it is, right? Like, these are the 5 things we believe in. These are the 3 things we believe in. Whatever that number is, when you see those things, recognize, reward, and reinforce them as much as you possibly can. Whether that's using a formal structured PBIS type of thing, or maybe it's like a Jostens Renaissance, at the middle school or the high school. But when you see the things you want to see, call it out. We're really good about finding the things that people are doing wrong and pointing that out. But when we shift our mind a little bit and start looking for those good things that are happening in our classroom, and we call it out, a lot of times those kids who, I can't remember who said it, it might have been Dr. Cam, but was talking about, just sometimes, our kids who want the most attention ask for it in just some of the most bizarre ways. If they know they can gain attention, sometimes through, oh, this is how kids get attention, they're doing the right things. And when we start to just pat that kid on the shoulder and say, Danny, that's what I've been wanting to see from you, man. I'm proud of you. Keep it up. That's what our kids need more than anything. So find those things, and then teach your kids, how do we celebrate? How do we celebrate it as a class when collectively we meet a goal on an assessment? Or how do we celebrate when, maybe as an elementary example, our class is the one that gets the golden trash can. So the district where I was superintendent, our custodians got to choose every Friday. The classroom that had the cleanest classroom throughout the course of the week got the golden trash can for the next week. How do you teach your kids to celebrate that? So those would be the 2 that I would kind of lean into.
All right, Darrin, I'm going to have you answer this first and then Katie.
Okay.
So you had talked about us being really good at pointing out the bad, but I don't want it to be like a gotcha moment here. But I want you to talk about like systems that are unconsciously breaking down the culture that exists. So when you're working with educators, you're in the classrooms all the time. I know how you work. You know, what are some things that you're seeing that is unconsciously doing the opposite of what we're talking about today?
Man, it is so interesting that you said that. And by the way, we're going to recognize, reward, and reinforce Josh for immediately putting into play his plan to actually call us by name to get us moving. So good work,
That's what
Josh.
I do.
Interesting that you bring that up. This morning, I recorded a podcast with Shirts and Ties, so Casey Shirts and Brian Miller in Montana. I don't know when it'll release, but it's unintended culture killers. That's exactly what we talked about this morning. So it was really, really cool. And I think I think there's a handful of things. I'm going to lean into the administrator side here. So I'm going to speak specifically to administrators. Here are a few things that you might be doing that unintentionally are killing the culture. Or maybe I'll lean into adults rather than kids here on this. So one, when you're emailing back and forth and having conversation and there's disagreement. When somebody decides to then CC the principal or CC the superintendent, very quickly that erodes trust because it's hey, I've got the upper hand, or I'm trying to prove you wrong, or I'm going to tell mom, that kind of behavior. Any of those types of behaviors, I think, can erode culture. I think as an administrator, we walk this real fine line sometimes. And sometimes it's out of necessity, but it's this guarding information from our staff that they really would like to know, or sometimes that they need to know. And we'll kind of maybe hide it with this guise of well, it's confidential information, or it's need to know information. And sometimes those are some genuinely true things, right? When we're talking about personnel issues, you can't talk about those things. But when you leave an empty space with information, whether that's as a teacher to my students, whether that's teachers to other teachers, administrators to other administrators, when you leave an empty space of information, it gets filled with something else, and it's usually not accurate information. So I think the more we can do to not have those vacant spaces, um, those are the things that really quickly erode culture. I think, I could probably get 1,000 examples, but those are the two that just jump to mind because that's again what I talked about with the guys on Shirts and Ties this morning. So I'll throw it over to Katie.
That was good. I like it. How can we kill classroom culture? I think Danny said this, and I'm going to say it. I'm going to reiterate it. That you don't want to get into a power struggle with a kid who's not loyal to you in front. I mean, yelling, it doesn't work. And then something that I'm really passionate about is that I see 150 kids a day. I'm secondary. And so you have to learn their names and you need to learn to say them right. And that is something that is so important, especially beginning of the year, that you are practicing and you're saying them right over and over again. And saying someone's name is powerful. And I really like it. It's an oldie, but it's a goodie. I like Love and Logic for the classroom. I like, when you are setting up your classroom and you have procedures in place, and also you never want to say free time, idle hands. Like we have too much to do, and you're going to plan and over plan, and you're going to make sure that you are differentiating, that you've got, what are we doing with the kids for extension? What are we doing for remediation? Everything in between. And I think it's important that you're never like free time, because our kids deserve every instructional minute. And so, but also when something, and it's P. Sloan Joseph who says this, but yeah, If you get into a power struggle to win, you already lost. It's totally. P. Sloan Joseph says, what you don't address will become a mess. And that is true. So, if you see a kid doing something that is not helpful to the classroom culture, I think it's okay to go over there and say and whisper, like, hey, we don't do that. Do you have a question? What do you need? Like being direct with kids. And you don't have to be mean about it. And they're like, oh, she didn't play or he didn't play. And so then they learn that, like, I do love you too much. And I say that to my kids. I love you too much for this. And by October, if I'm having to have a side conversation and I'm like, hey, little Johnny, and he's like, I know you love us too much for this. And they will say it for me. So learn their names. Don't get in power struggle. Love and logic for the classroom. I like it.
Awesome. You guys, it's really neat to hear you guys talk and then hear your different perspectives on this. But I'm wondering, like, as we kind of close things down, because we're getting to that time, what do you think is the most important thing that we need to leave with as we close this and we go into the classrooms, we go into the buildings, we go into the school bus or in the hallways, thinking about how to improve, prevent behaviors, or really just support that school community so it functions and thrives very well. So Darrin, we'll start with you.
Yeah. So start with culture first. And then when I say that, I mean, embrace culture. Every adult embrace culture, because, and I say this all the time, people will say, well, it's the principal's job to set the culture. And you know what? That's true. But it's not just the principal's job. Every single adult is responsible for the culture in the school. And every single adult has the opportunity to make a positive impact on the life of a kid, not just a teacher, not just a principal. I had a maintenance worker on my campus who, man, I could tell story after story after story. But when Cleve had a few extra minutes, he was up in our main hallway sitting on a bench, and kids just flocked to him. They just wanted to talk with him and get to know him. And he was a great mentor for kids. And every adult has the opportunity to impact culture. So no matter what your role is, always think about, what are some things I can do to continually build up the culture? And if I've done something that maybe unintentionally pulls the culture in the wrong direction, how do I go about repairing that?
Go ahead, Katie.
Yeah, so I just think that this is messy human work and it's never going to be perfect. But showing up, being open to trying new things, showing up every day, even when it's hard, and loving our kids. Like maybe you love them today, so the teacher next year can teach them, and that's okay. And that we are in this and it's hard, but we're in this together. And so, of course, I love the baby teachers. You guys know that. I haven't said that yet. I love the baby teachers. And our baby teachers are in their first 5 years. And I am big about mentoring them and keeping them in the profession. So if you're listening, you're a baby teacher, please keep in touch. If you are a vet teacher, check on your baby teachers and go love on them. And if you haven't seen them in a month, you should go and make sure they're okay. And because, some of our schools are like, here are your 3 days of PD before school starts, and we hope you make it to fall break. We'll see then. And so really go and check on your people because we need every last one of us.
All right. Josh, any last final words? We need to make sure that we get everybody to your resources. We're going to put those in the chat. And also, Is there anything else like that you guys want to share about a resource that people should go to right now? Anything big that's happening next? And Darrin, go ahead because you're unmuted. I'll go to you.
Oh, okay.
I almost didn't do that.
Hey, there you go. Yeah. So tell me the question again, because I just was copying and pasting something. I think it's exactly what you were asking about
It is.
resource,
Yeah.
but I was just
It's about the
copying and
resource.
pasting something.
No, it's about the
yeah.
resource, because we want to make sure people are getting what you guys have for them as well.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I know on your resources page, there's an ebook that I did that is titled Walk in Your Purpose. It's just 5 mindsets to level up your leadership. I've got an extra one I'm going to throw in. I'll drop it in the chat. This is this to me, like my big passion. I think you guys know this, but my big passion is those early career leaders, and how do we help those early career leaders not just be firefighters, but actually lead in their building. And a big part of that is, how do I manage my priorities? How do I manage my time? How do I actually work on the work that really matters? So what I dropped in the chat is a free resource. It's part of one of my my signature paid course on the Principal Academy, but it's a weekly planner for school leaders, so you can really, arrange your priorities. There's some built-in reflection time every single day, and then also a weekly reflection, because reflection is most important probably of all of it, because if we don't reflect, we don't learn. But I've got that resource in there. And then again, on your resource page is the level up your leadership. No, walk in your purpose. That's what the title of that one is. Walk in your purpose.
Awesome. Katie, anything that you'd like to say about a free resource? Anything that we've missed?
We're giving a freebie away. If you will email me, I'll send you an Untold Teaching Truths. And I would love that. And of course, Road to Awesome put out my second edition, 2024.
Yeah.
And so, if you'll email me your address, I'll send you. There it is. There are the glasses.
There it is.
I know. And we had to put out a second edition because, like, my first edition was just blue, and people were like, "Where
I
are
have
the
the first edition.
This is
Yeah.
So you want the
It's
second
all about
edition.
those second editions, right? I mean, that's what it's all about.
So email me, and I'm happy to send you one.
Could you put your email in the chat? Would you mind doing that, Katie? That
I can
way
do it right now.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, you don't want to miss that, y'all. You don't want to miss it. Okay, well, thank you all so much. Katie's putting that in the chat. Make sure you get those resources. If you need some leadership support, definitely reach out, because this is the work that they're doing. So thank you guys so much for being here.
Yes. It's always great to see you both.
Awesome.
Thank you. This was
Great
awesome.
work, guys.
I watched last night too. This was amazing. I hope you guys continue to put these on.
Yeah.
Well, with great speakers like yourself, that's the goal, right?